Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
All right. Let's get to the main event. This shit we really want to talk about. The shit of the year. And we're going to kick it off with for me, this honorable mention, the John Cena Roman Reigns feud plus Finn Balor. Okay, they gave Finn Balor the fucking shaft with this shit. Had us thinking that he was gonna face Roman at SummerSlam when we knew y'all brought back John Cena. Ain't nobody that stupid. And then y'all had the nerve, the gall, the audacity to say, "Hey, Roman, if you lose," or Roman said, "If I lose, I will leave WWE." Fuck you. You ain't leaving shit. Okay, stop. All right. That was the honorable mention. Coming, and actually, I cheated. Did I cheat? 1, 2, 3. I did cheat. I have 4. Because I couldn't leave this shit off of here. I just couldn't. Coming in at number 4 is the fact that The Miz cashed in on Drew McIntyre to win the WWE Championship for a week. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. After Bobby Lashley whooped that ass, then he gonna come down there and cash in. I don't know about The Miz as WWE champion. Get the fuck out of here. This is not really a storyline or gimmick, but it was a big change, a big shift that I don't like. Call me old or old school, whatever. But NXT 2.0, I can't get with it. It's not for me. I'm trying still, but it's not for me. I'm not going to shit on it. I respect the fact that WWE is saying they're going all in 100%, trying to farm new talent, but it's not for me as of yet. However, coming in number 2, Alexa Bliss and the Lily Doll. I'm gonna let Rob, because I know it's on his, so I'm not even gonna go off on that. It's just number 2. And then number 1, and y'all know it's number 1 because I expressed my dislike for this shit. American Top Team and Dan Lambert. Fuck them. Okay. I can't stand anything that they did. I hate Dan Lambert. His promos suck. He's not even a good heel. Like, it's not even like good. Like, hey, I can't stand him because his promos too good. Like MJF. No, your promos suck. Everybody in your group sucks at wrestling. Okay, you got UFC fighters coming out there like they've never been on TV before. The best promo cut by the American Top Team member was Paige Van Zandt, and she don't even wrestle. So yeah, that was the worst shit. And that match at Full Gear sucked.
Cain Velasquez did do good in that match, though.
Any event, Rob, take it away.
All right. Well, my honorable mention, you also mentioned, so disappointed in the new NXT. It was the best brand that WWE had, and they had to go and mess with it. And I understand you need to change, and I know that they're skewing younger, and there's some good young talent there, but I'm trying my best. I'm really trying my best to stick with NXT, but it's hard. I like Braun Breaker. I like Carmella Hayes. I like Toxic Attraction.
But that's it.
You know what? After that, it gets really, really shaky for me. Yeah. And then we know that they released Samoa Joe, William Regal, and from what I read, it's all in an effort to get rid of all of Triple H's people. The man who built up NXT, the man who made NXT what it was. And it was great. It was awesome. And now you're trying to tear all that down. And to me, it's a mistake, because right now it's just sad to watch. And I'm having a hard time sticking with it. Hopefully I will, but I'm not sure. Number 3 on my list. Well, come on now. The whole Miz, Morrison, and Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
You know, the
Oh,
Miz.
man.
I like the Miz as a guy. This has nothing to do with him as a person. Mike Mizanin, good guy, and you know, nothing against him. But these storylines they've had him in, you know, you just mentioned what they did with him and McIntyre, only to have him hold the title for a week. He basically was just a placeholder for Lashley. So they get him in this program with Bad Bunny and Morrison, having him in bunny costumes, doing these stupid vignettes, the hey, hey, ho, ho. And then, of course, they get to Mania and he loses to Bad Bunny.
I did, however, like that video. I will say that.
Oh, okay. All right. I did not. So yeah, that was another one of my worst angles. And then, of course, you mentioned it. Look, Alexa Bliss and Lily. Just a complete waste of Alexa Bliss's talent. Now, Alexa Bliss is apparently on her way back to Raw. They showed a promo for her. She's going to be making a return. I pray that she is back as the 5 Feet of Fury and that she's left that damn doll behind her.
Mm-hmm.
But look,
you never know.
I could go on about it, but I said it. Just a complete waste of Alexa Bliss's talent. Terrible, terrible storyline. My number 1, and this actually goes back to before 2021, but I'm just sick of it. The 24/7 title is just a waste. There are already too many titles.
Way on here.
Yeah, I mean, there are already too many titles in WWE. All right, you've got, like, if you count the Queen and King of the Ring, you've got like 11 titles, air quotes I'm using again. This is one that can definitely go. Right now, the current title holder is Dana Brooke. Before that, it was Reggie. R-Truth has held the title about 50 times. You've got Tozawa chasing around trying to get the title, and they all just look stupid. It's a waste of our time, their talent. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's just bad. And so to me, that is the absolute worst angle of 2021 for me. 247 title. Get rid of it.
Yeah, it's nothing like the hardcore championship they had. They actually had stakes. I mean, you would see all the I love when Crash Holly had it. I mean, it was just comedy when he had it. But it worked and it made sense because you could use weapons, and that was the point. This is just I don't know, man. If I hit somebody over the head with a trash can repeatedly or throw them off of something really high, yeah, I'm gonna get a pinfall. But this is just roll-ups and dumb shit and having celebrities and Pete.
Yeah, I think Reggie Bush has been the 247 champion for a brief second.
And what's his name? Peter Rosenberg and
yeah,
people like that. I mean, you just come on, man. But in any event, go ahead, Book.
I do have a dishonorable mention, and that is NXT 2.0.
Man, we all in agreement on that shit.
That is just shit. It's just shit. It is. They are doing their damnedest to erase Triple H from NXT. Why? I have no idea why you would want to erase the best part of NXT, which was what was in the mind of Triple H. This was his baby, and Vince, being the egomaniacal dick that he is, he just had to swoop in and make his own NXT, and fittingly, it sucks. So that's an easy dishonorable mention. And that logo, and and that logo just sucks. It's just everything about NXT 2.0 is just pathetic. Number 3, as far as gimmicks, it is definitely the wrestler that I call Blank Woman,
Yeah.
Nikki ASH. Give me a fucking break. That gimmick was so stupid. It just was not good. To me, it just never worked. And even when she did get the belt, she lost it right away. I mean, so it was like, what's the point? What was the point of getting her the belt if you're just going to make her lose it on her first damn Nikki, I wish she'd just go back to what she did before, that wild, crazy thing. That I loved.
That was working.
I don't need you having a sock tied around your face. So
this was in her defense, this was her idea, and they told her yes. So
it might have been in her idea, but that just makes it worse that she came up with that shit.
That's what she wanted to do, and then it worked for a while because it worked with the kids.
It's dumb. Number 2, of course, is the human diarrhea bag himself, Corbin. I mean,
yeah, I did not like that storyline at all. The whole home was, I did not buy that shit. I just couldn't. I'm like, dude, you work for WWE. Fuck out of here.
Well, when has he ever
They're all
been
playing characters, man. It's like watching a movie. It's not real. They're playing characters.
But I didn't buy when Shawn Michaels tried to play broke either. I was like, come on, man.
I mean, Corbin, I don't know how that guy can still get a paycheck with the year of firings that we've had to tolerate. With names of people who should not have been fired. Corbin, you could fire that dick, but of course they're not going to, because Vince loves that kind of a heel, so he won't do it. But Corbin, he's so worthless. I mean, he literally every second that he's on the screen, my TV starts to act a little malfunctioning just because of that human diarrhea bag on my screen. So
I don't know if it's fun, but it's a fact.
It's probably not going to be fun.
Nobody has ever kicked out of his finisher. End of days. Nobody's ever kicked out. I saw a thing on Instagram. It's that nobody's ever kicked out.
But has he ever really wrestled anybody?
Roman.
Okay. But he didn't get Roman in the end of days.
Probably not, no.
And of course, anyway. Number 1, I've mentioned this numerous times, the Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley feud. I mean, when I think of those two, I want to first think of Money in the Bank match. But sadly, the first thing I think of is them lightsabering with crutches.
Yeah, that was bad.
Why was this so difficult to figure out how to do that feud? I mean, was there just too many people throwing in ideas? Was it Vince just taking complete control of that one? And maybe somebody finally said at Money in the Bank, Vince, hey, look, you're killing this feud. Just fuck off for a second.
I don't know what happened.
But that feud should have been a lot bigger than it was. They screwed it up. And I will always look at that as one of the worst storylines, gimmicks that they could have ever done. It is what they did to that feud.
Well, I mean, they could always revisit it. And that, to me, that's the hope, that they revisit, do it right. Yeah. Down the line. They don't have to go back to it right away, obviously. I mean, they're on 2 different brands. So we shall see. All right. Rob, what were you able to come up with?
I really wasn't able to come up with anything I thought was horrible, but I don't like any of Big E stuff, any New Day stuff, the bright colors. I hate all that stuff. And I thought Big E deserved better. I really was hoping when they decided they were going to make him a star on his own, we'd see, some more menacing, some cooler gear. Instead, we got this light blue shirt with the Think Big on it and him doing the thing where he's shaking his hips and all that. And then another shirt that looked like a cereal box or something. It just stupid gear that I would never, ever wear. I want to support the brother, but I would never wear any of his gear.
Well, this was my number one, and I was torn between this and Dewdrop shirt, but I think this takes the cake.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah, I thought about that one. I thought about that.
I'm so sick of Riddle, but yeah, that to me is the worst. That's it's a dumbass shirt. That's just nothing else to say about it. It's dumb.
For me, it's Jey Uso, right hand man.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
For somebody like me who has an
forgot about
opinion of you already, that is about the worst shirt you could have ever used. Because I already think that that right hand's been a little busy. But as soon as he wore that shirt and as soon as I started seeing it, I'm like, Jay, just go back to wearing Uso stuff, man. I mean, you don't have to wear that. It's so stupid, right hand man. It was just so dumb. It was dumb.
All right.
Well, y'all are already not going to like what my number 3 is because y'all praise this event, both of you, but I don't care. It's Crown Jewel. That was nothing but a glorified house show. That's all it was. It was just a house show. And it lived up to what I felt a Crown Jewel event was. Just a house show. So I didn't enjoy it. I will never watch Crown Jewel again. And it was just a bad night watching that damn pay-per-view.
Well, it's relative because you haven't seen the others.
I've heard enough about them. Number 2 was, of course, SummerSlam. There are some people that would say SummerSlam may have been the worst pay-per-view of the year.
Oh, man.
I know someone who actually says that is one of the worst WWE pay-per-views in the last 10 years. I know someone who says that's just the worst pay-per-view ever.
Oh.
That pay-per-view was just
all that.
Nah.
I can't go there, but I could definitely say it is one of the worst of the year. I mean, there wasn't enough booze for us to watch that thing. And Rob, you were sitting right here with me.
I think it had the most highlights on the best of the compilation I did.
Well, there was a lot of drinking that had to be done to get through that pay-per-view because it was just bad. There was just nothing good about that pay-per-view. And number 1 is, of course, AEW Revolution.
I'm gonna talk about that later.
Oh, sure we will. AEW isn't perfect. They've made mistakes. But that night, they made one of the biggest blunders in the history of blunders. You will not think of a single match on that card. The only thing people know that thing for is
the end.
Exploding ring death match with barbed wire. As soon as the sparklers went off, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I've watched an actual death match off YouTube. I've seen actual exploding ring matches. they actually explode. So what the hell? What? And then you have Eddie Stingston show up and cover his buddy, and he passes out. I guess the heat from the sparklers, it was just too much for him to take. But that to me easily is the worst pay-per-view of the year, and the stink of that night is stuck all over AEW. That, for a lot of people, is the first thing they think of, is that damn match.
All right, Ambassador.
All right. Well, honorable mention. Book talked about it, so I won't have to go on about it. Yeah, dishonorable. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, SummerSlam. I mean, come on. I mean, that whole event, what a disappointment. You know, it was at a huge stadium in Vegas, but what a big letdown. Becky returned, should have been a great moment, but the way it was booked and how it turned out for Bianca, just awful. That was just only one of the things about that card that was awful. My number 3, Extreme Rules. All right. Extreme Rules without only one match that had quote unquote extreme rules. Okay. How do you have a card called Extreme Rules and none of the matches have any stipulations with the exception of one? It's just stupid. WrestleMania Backlash, which I don't know if I should talk about it now, but probably contained the single worst match I've seen this year. I'm not going to go on about it because I'm assuming we'll get to a category where I can later.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, those for me are my worst cards of the year.
All right. Well, we're not in disagreement at all, any of us, but except for one. I have an honorable mention on here. I thought Full Gear, dishonorable mention. I didn't think Full Gear was that great. I mean, that might have been coming off the heels of All Out, and it's just so hard to follow that. But I didn't think the card itself stacked up very well. I mean, there's been previous Full Gears that were better than this. This just didn't. I didn't feel that AEW put all their effort into that show. Number 3, SummerSlam. I mean, yeah. I mean, God, that was a god awful, just torture fest. And I had to watch that shit in a hotel room. I couldn't even drink properly like I would normally. And yeah, sucked. The best part about SummerSlam was reviewing it. That was coming in number 2, WrestleMania Backlash. We'll talk about it. And number 1, yes, Extreme Rules. What the fuck, man? I remember doing that post show, and none of us wanted to fucking do it. It was just like pulling. I feel bad having y'all on to do it because it was like nobody wants to do this shit. It's just it was the least amount of effort put into that show. I think that's the one podcast video that I have never gone back to watch again because I just we knew it was shit. Yeah, like I said, one match with Extreme Rules. The most extreme thing we got was the Demon Finn Balor on the floor pulsating, and we had Roman beating the demon. That was it. There was nothing extreme about the match. And yeah, the finish was shit. Everything about that show was shit. Yeah. So those were the worst pay-per-view events of 2021. We're all probably got the same male one, probably the same female one, but I'm just going to put out there, the worst male is obviously Karrion Kross when he came to the main roster. That shit was fucking terrible, okay? That was the worst. Not even just the mask, the fucking straps and shit. Like, all of that was bad. And to his credit, he goes on and he's just like, yeah, that was some bullshit. I did not want to wear that shit. That did not come from him. That was Vince trying to change people. Why? I don't know. But yeah. If anybody has anything different, go ahead.
No, it was Karrion Kross. And I wasn't a fan of Karrion Kross before, but he didn't deserve that. He did not deserve that. That was pretty much the nail in the coffin. A series of things since they got losing his first match to Jeff Hardy, which I didn't think was a deal breaker. But then, he's already without Scarlett, and then you put him in this hideous gear. It's like they were just trying to sabotage him, and then they release him.
I actually don't have Karrion Kross, although that was bad. You should know already exactly who I have, and that is Eddie. It's Eddie Stingston.
That's a good choice.
That's a good choice. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, dude, you are dressed like a jobber from the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, which is you wonder why I call you a bum. You're dressed like a bum. So what else am I supposed to think? Wearing your grandma's Hawkeye wrestling gear. It was just stupid. He just looks, I can't take him seriously when he's dressed like that. You're supposed to be street. I'd never seen anybody street dressed like that. If they were street and they dressed like that, they'd get shot. So, dude, get some real gear. Stop wearing that bullshit. You still dress like a jobber.
Yep. All right. Well, as much as I'm proud that she got to do a gimmick that she came up with, I still think it's the worst gear in wrestling. Nikki ASH, hands down.
I second that emotion.
Just keeping it real. I want to see her do good. I think we all want to see her do well, but goddamn, that shit is bad.
Yeah, man, I'm in agreement. I mean, we are, you and I at least are in sync. To me, by far, those are the two worst ring gear, but I do like Book's choice of Eddie Kingston for the male. I that one got by me. I might have chose him if I would have thought about it.
Yeah.
Nia Jax was actually on my list for a little while. And then I remembered that stupid blank woman. And I'm like, Nia, as bad as yours is, even you at least didn't dress up like some stupid superhero. So hands down, it is Nikki ASH. That garb was just terrible. Just garbage.
The only other male I could think of, Lord have mercy, was Keith
Lee.
Oh, man. I said
That
this. One pair of those shorts they had him come in, I thought he was wearing a skirt at first.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they doing with Keith Lee?
Man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was bad, man. Okay, we can get this out the way. As Book would say, let's all say it together. Everybody, the worst weekly television programming possible in history, wrestling history.
Yeah. We can just say this all together and move on.
Raw. It is utter 3 hours of painful bullshit, rinse, repeat. I don't care what anybody else is doing. It's 3 fucking hours. Okay.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. Bad on the eyes, bad on the ears, bad on the brain. It's a 3-hour lobotomy.
Yeah.
I didn't have Raw. And that's because I've never watched Raw for that long. I always do the YouTube vids. That's how I watch Raw. So for me, it's actually AEW Rampage.
I couldn't do Rampage. It's only an hour.
It's only an hour, but it is. But it's a rough hour.
No.
Every time, for me, it is a rough hour. It's a really rough hour. I mean, it's like watching that, and I'm like, okay, is it as bad as NXT 2.0? I'm like, oh, that's kind of getting there too. And so in the end, I just decided to give it to actually NXT. NXT 2.0 is by far just shit. It's just a shit show. I haven't watched that program in a couple of weeks. I can't sit through it. I just can't sit through it.
I can't say I blame you.
No, I don't. I mean, a year ago, you had the Undisputed Era on that show. You had Karrion Kross. You had Keith Lee. You know, I mean, what have they done? They've ruined that show.
Yeah. I mean, even if you weren't the biggest Cross fan, they still did they followed the proper protocols with people they were building. And now it's just like right now, I just feel like it's just an effort to erase with the old guard. It's just whatever we got to do. If there's a black and gold NXT performer going up against a 2.0 performer, the 2.0 wrestler is gonna win. Period in the story.
Yep.
And you saw that this past week at New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So before we get to the main event, I did forget one category.
I was going to mention that.
I think we all know what the best return was. We could just go ahead and say it. I mean, it's Punk. That was the best. Yeah. We did a whole show about it. That was the best return. We kind of knew, but we just wanted to see it happen, and we saw it happen. It was here in Chicago. It was great. All right, that was the best return, obviously, in my opinion. And then, but runner up, I would give to Bryan Danielson because we were at All Out and we got Adam Cole. Once we got Adam Cole, I thought that was going to be it. I thought, okay, well, the show's going off because it was the very end of the night. So, okay, well, we got Adam Cole. We had a great night, great main event. Cole, okay, cool. We got Bryan Danielson right after that. Now, damn, we got it all. So that was shocking. I didn't think we were going to get him at all. And the only positive thing I could say about SummerSlam was that Brock Lesnar, this is an honorable mention, that Brock Lesnar returned. I didn't see that coming at all. There was no indication he was going to show up at SummerSlam whatsoever. And the fact that he did, he came back with a totally different, it was just the shock value of it. I didn't see it coming at all. There was zero indication he was coming back. But the best return is CM Punk.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. A return we never thought we would see. You know, when Punk first left, I thought, well, he'll be back at some point. But then after a few years, I said, okay, he's doing other things. He's trying MMA. He's not coming back. And when the rumbling started that he was coming back, it was still for me a thing. I have to see it to believe it. And when it finally happened, what a moment. What a moment. So yeah, for me, that's definitely the best. And probably still to me the most shocking because like I said, I had gotten to a point where I didn't think we'd ever see it.
It's definitely CM Punk. You all said everything. That's the return everybody talked about all year long. That was one of the loudest pops I'd ever damn seen in my life. People were crying. Crying. Grown men crying real tears. You get that kind of emotion out of somebody, that's the best return. because even though they're chanting for CM Punk, I'm like, I was like, at first I'm like, they're not gonna really start it with this, and then I thought about it. I'm like, they better, because that crowd will take over and they'll be chanting CM Punk all night long. And when you heard that music kick in, it's like, here we go. So it's definitely CM Punk. It's not even close.
They were smart to start off with that, because nothing else would have gotten, if they would have trying to start with a match or a promo with somebody else, they would have never gotten through it. Never. So kudos to them. And that was on Rampage, by the way. Now, anytime you got something great, you got something bad. And got the worst returns of the year. Now, I know a lot of people gonna say Becky. I would definitely throw her name in there. But when I think about what happens after you make a return, and what happens after you return, after the nostalgia is worn off, and what have you done for me lately type of deal, to me, and somebody's going to be very upset when I say this, but I'll deal with it. Andrade has been very, very disappointing this year. Where is he? Came back. He had Vicky Guerrero as his manager. Got rid of her. Then he had Chavo as his manager. Got rid of him. Then he was feuding somewhat with Lucha Bros, trying to get Pac to join him. Like, he's just been all over the place. His AEW run has been shit outside of the match with Cody, which I heard was actually still shit outside the Cody spot. And Cody, the one back got burned up. So, yeah. As far as returns and in-ring, Andrade is the worst. And Blake's gonna hate me for that, but that's all right. Rob, go ahead.
Well, initially I was going to say Becky, not because I wasn't glad to see Becky or Becky's not a big star. I just didn't like the way it went down with her and Bianca. I remember when Christian Cage made his return to AEW.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember we did a podcast and you asked me my reaction and I went like, wah, wah. And that's still how I feel about it today. I'm a fan of Christian Cage when he's with Edge, when he's in a tag team role. As a singles competitor, could have cared less. And so when I had heard that there was another WWE star coming to AEW, and of all the people it could be, and I find out it's Christian Cage, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, that was a terrible return because I didn't pop for it. I just didn't care. I mean,
Nobody did.
Really underwhelming. Really, really just a big disappointment. You could have announced that on the internet, or you could have done that on Dynamite, even Rampage.
Yeah.
You know, to do it at a pay-per-view and make me think it's a big damn deal. You know, what a fucking letdown.
Yeah.
For me, it's Adam Cole. I'm sorry. I was expecting right away to see a difference. And I just saw Adam Cole doing was getting kissed by the Young Bucks. I mean, that's all I kept seeing week after week after week is him just getting kissed. I'm like, I've been trying to give you a chance. And I thought this is probably going to be where I finally get to see you. And you're just getting kissed by two men. So I'm sorry. To me, it was Adam Cole. And it didn't start out like that. I mean, we were there when he came back, when he showed up. But that's where the emotion peaked. And it was all downhill from there. The Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks at SummerSlam.
Okay.
That match
Well,
was it
That's honorable. Dishonorable. Sorry.
dishonorable. The match, of course, didn't end up happening, and then we end up
so I was gonna
having
say,
Becky
how can that-
Lynch.
Well, it
that
was
was
a
what
match.
the
bell
that was
rang.
what it was originally. Was that, and then Becky shows up and beats
Oh, you
Belair
said
in
Sasha
20
versus Bianca.
because
Yeah,
that's
that
what
match
it
didn't end up
was at
happening.
first. Well, we didn't know that until that night. I'm naming it as the match was originally.
Okay.
That was on the marquee. That was on the marquee.
I misheard you.
Yeah, but how can you say a match is the worst that didn't happen?
I'm going through all of it.
Okay.
I'm going through all of it.
Well,
Becky shows up, but Becky shows up, and then
Okay.
of course that fiasco. I mean, the whole thing was just done badly. The whole thing was done badly. It was a mess. For a pay-per-view that was already shit, that didn't help.
My dishonorable mention, and I think we did a review on this too. The blood and guts match. The match itself was pretty damn good, but that finish, goddamn, man. Having Chris Jericho fall off and fall on
Oh man.
the steel plating he fell through. Somebody airbrushed some shit. Or he fell through the arts and crafts section of the Michael store. Yeah, that was it's a damn shame because that was one of the matches that Sammy Guevara stole. But man, again, like Book said before, when the ending is that bad and you can visibly see where and the fucking the ramp was raised up because Jericho's fall was not that far. Oh man, yeah.
Don't forget Jericho looking into the camera.
Yeah, looking in the camera.
Yeah, like, are we off? Are we still rolling? Oh, okay.
You good? No. Oh. Yeah. Yep. That's all I mentioned. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I've only got a couple that I can think of on the fly, but I'm going to name one of mine. Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie.
SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, involving Lily and Eva Marie. First of all, we know Eva Marie can't wrestle anyway, so we knew the match was going to be bad. But then Lily is there, Eva Marie picking up the doll, slapping the doll around. I mean, just sheer stupidity. Come on. Once again, waste of Alexa Bliss's talent, wasting my time.
Okay, book number 3.
Sorry, Eric, but it is Goldberg, Bobby Lashley. at
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, that
SummerSlam.
That match sucked. I said on the show it sucked.
I mean, that was just
And
pathetic.
I bought this shirt before SummerSlam, which was in August. This shirt did not arrive until November.
I remember, yeah.
Maybe they forgot to make it. They're like, oh yeah, we do have to make these shirts still. But that match was just terrible. I mean, and the only good thing about that match was watching Rob's reactions. Rob was losing his mind during that match. He was absolutely losing his mind during that match. That was the best thing about SummerSlam, was watching it with Rob, because he was just losing his shit.
Well, the first half was fine, but then they got to the bullshit. It was okay. Wow, we did. And then you got Goldberg's son coming out there getting the hurt lock, and he just went out. Okay, we just get to all kind of bullshit. All right. My number 2 was the zombie lumberjack match at WrestleMania Backlash. What in the actual fuck is going on? I get it. They've done gimmick stuff before, and there's stuff backstage as a tie-in to Army of the Dead with Batista. all good and well. But when you have, this is supposed to be a fight, whether it's choreographed, whether it's staged, predetermined, however, whatever word you want to use, fine. Then you have a grown ass man supposedly eaten alive by zombies. And then 2 weeks later, he's back on TV. Fuck out of here with this shit. It just barely didn't make number one. But yeah, that zombie bullshit, yeah, number two. Go ahead, Rob.
My number two, Book talked about it. Goldberg versus Bobby at SummerSlam. My stomach hurt from laughing at that match. When Bobby went at Goldberg's knee, I swear I thought that was for real. I thought Goldberg was just finally breaking down, and I was laughing my ass off. And then, of course, Gage coming in, getting in the hurt lock. Man, the whole match was just a train wreck. Just kind of like, I think at least me and Book thought it would be. I know Goldberg's your dude, and you like Bobby too, and you thought it would be good, but man, that match was just everything.
They made up for it.
Huh?
They made up for it.
They did. But man, this particular match, this was bad.
But that was bad.
And man, Book is right. Man, I thought it was complete comedy because it was so bad. So no need to go on about it. But that is my number two.
I was objective. I did give that match the lowest grade possible.
You did.
I won't say much because you said everything, Eric. Number two is those damn zombies. I mean, you said it all. Zombies. Really? Just, I mean, I was already on a zombie band, so I had to debate whether I could even watch that match. So in the end, I just let it play in the background, and I just couldn't even look at it. I couldn't even look at it. As soon as I saw the zombies showing up, I'm like, okay, that's it. That is one of the worst damn matches of the year, period.
Yep.
Fucking zombies. Thank you, Vince McMahon.
It's one of the worst matches ever. All right. I'm just gonna put it out here now. Book talked about it earlier. The worst damn match of the year is obviously the exploding barbed wire match. I mean, that exploding barbed wire death match, whatever the fuck it's called. You talking about the biggest farting church you've ever seen in wrestling. I mean, Jesus Christ. I just was sitting there like, I mean, I was on pins and needles. They had the countdown going, and you think the whole damn ring is about to blow up. And like I said on the show, we got the guys holding Gilbert's sparklers. And like Book said, Eddie Kingston coming out there and covering up John Moxley like the ring is about to explode. Now, granted, I thought they were maybe trolling us a little bit, like, oh no, this is just, okay, it fills it out. It's gonna be a second, they're gonna catch us off guard. They went off the fucking air just like that. Wow. Yep. And that is the equivalent of no other way to say it. I mean, it's not even the equivalent of coming too quick when you with a girl you finally got with. That's the equivalent of not even getting a boner. That sucked.
Yep. Or having a preemie.
That was the absolute worst ending to a match. That is worse than eaten by zombies. I'm sorry, it is. Fuck that. Because you told me this is what I'm getting. You did everything else, and that's what we got. Yeah, that is my number one. Worst match of the year, hands down. Ain't even close. Well, there's some other stuff I could have said in there, but that was.
Okay. Well, look, as bad as that was, I got to go with Miz getting eaten by zombies. And here's why, as opposed to the exploding barbed wire match. I really believe that that was a technical issue. They meant for that ring to do more than it did. It was a technical glitch. Okay, they didn't mean for that to happen. All right, but WWE meant for that shit to happen with Miz and Damian Priest. They did that shit on purpose. That's different.
Man.
Okay, they intentionally designed the match to go that way. I don't care if it's Batista. I don't care the reason you're trying to tie this into a movie. Man, do that on your own time. Don't waste my time with that shit. Okay, come on. Really, lumberjacks that are zombies. And look, if you're the Miz, I mean, this is the guy you want to be. You want to dress in bunny costumes. You want to get eaten by zombies. Okay, that's what you want to be. I mean, it pays your bills. And look, I'd take the Miz's money for I guess I would do the stupid shit he's doing for the money he's making. So maybe I shouldn't be talking. But no, the difference between those two matches is WWE meant to do that. The zombie match, they meant to do that. I don't think AEW meant for that to happen the way it did. That's the only reason I'll cut them just a little bit of slack and give the edge for worst match to Priest versus Miz.
Yeah.
With most wrestling fans, there is one match they will never forget and the awfulness that it was. And that is Kenny Omega and Moxley in that damn exploding ring match. I'm sorry, but that match went all over the world. The world was laughing at AEW for that. Vince and his stupid zombie thing, yeah, people were laughing, but it was a different kind of laugh. This exploding ring match was just a disgrace. And the last thing you heard before that show went off the air was the fans booing. They were booing. I mean, if that is not the worst damn thing, that is the ultimate. I mean, the fans are who you're trying to gain the approval of, and they are booing your product. That match is going to live in infamy for quite a while. It is a part of, unfortunately, AEW's past forever. They will not get that funk out of their mouth. That is stuck there.
Damn.
And Tony Khan still wants to do another one. He still wants to do another one. And I'm like, bruh, if you want to do another one, you better have your ducks in a row for another one.
Well, then hire professionals. Okay. Hire actual pyrotechnic engineers to do the shit.
Well, damn, isn't that what you should do in the first place? I mean, you don't want to hire amateurs. If I'm doing something right,
Moxie's blamed Kenny Omega. He said, damn, dude, you can wrestle, but you can't blow a ring up for shit. That's exactly what he said.
Well, yeah, I think he did that too, because the audience was booing him out of the arena. He had to, he was trying to say something to deflect the audience. I don't think Kenny Omega set up the explosives. I mean, but
no, he didn't.
I think that was just Moxley's.
That was just a promo.
I think that was Moxley's way of trying to just get the audience to, not riot at that point.
And he was also trying to get the funk off of him as soon as he could.
Yeah.
Well, that's a that was some fucking shit. It's a shame because I thought that Sting had for a cinematic match. I thought Sting and Darby did a damn good job against Ricky Stark and Brian Cage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the warehouse for a cinematic, it was fantastic. I thought
I enjoyed that one as well. Y'all know how I hate the cinematic matches, but I enjoyed that one.
That was pretty damn good. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst of 2021. Now, 2022 has begun. As we have said, we've done a post show already. WWE Day 1. Make sure you go check that one out because it is already one of my favorite shows we've ever done. A lot of jokes on that one. Doc does not disappoint when he shows up. And I swear, I don't know if I ever laughed that hard on air. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, uncontrollably laughing at that shit. Check that out. I always got shout out the Countdown Podcast, MJ, hosted by MJ Book. And I'm sure this year will bring more content. And we have a lot of kind of catching up to do based on stuff we didn't get to last year, as far as like movie reviews, the Rocky series, obviously, and also I'd be remiss if I didn't promote. It was bound to happen. We've been talking about it for a while. But Doc and myself have strictly a YouTube channel now. The heat is in the kitchen, so it's called Heat in the Kitchen. There is a reason why it's called Heat in the Kitchen, and we will do a video explaining why it's called that. It's not just a random thing we came up with. There is a reason. So there we have so far one video up for that. It's Trying to Laugh, and make sure you like, subscribe to that channel as well. So yeah, lot coming up, but this is still the main hub as far as I'm concerned. This is still home for me. The 3, the G, and the dub is always home. So we've been doing this. This is going into the 4th year, and appreciate everybody who listens, watches. There'll be more YouTube content this year. We're getting more and more into YouTube. Always going to put the audio on the podcast as well. So you can definitely check out Day 1, Part 1, Part 2, the audio versions on your favorite podcast platforms. I've said a mouthful. Rob, you have anything?
Hey, just enjoy 2021 with the 3GW family. Looking forward to 2022 and looking forward to the heat is in the kitchen. Can't wait to start listening.
Yeah.
Good luck and God bless on that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have you on too, man. You know, it's gonna be similar to what we do here. We're gonna talk about, you know, it'll be a platform for men, Black men, to talk about certain things that we don't ever really get to discuss, issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So we're gonna hit some serious notes too, but always keeping it, you know, somewhat light, and always, of course, having the beverages.
Oh,
and
hey.
the other reason why it's gonna be Heat in the Kitchen is because we encourage people down to bring a drink, bring some food.
Oh, so, nice. Okay, I can do that. And I want to say one more thing to our show partner here, MJ Book. Get well soon. You know, been praying for you. We know it's rough, but we also know you're gonna get through it.
That's right.
Thank you very much. It's this has been another great year for 3GW. Definitely some memories, some good, some bad. But, and by bad, I mean bad in the funny way, bad. But you know, there's a few movies I could have done without this year.
Yeah,
me too.
I knew what you meant.
There's a couple of movies I could have really done without watching. A couple of pay-per-views I really could have done without watching.
Well, I ain't got no control over that one.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh man,
but
that's your show.
I've said it numerous times. This is a brotherhood, you know, and you've been a big supporter for me for my show, The Countdown. When I first got it started, I pestered and bothered you to, you know, with a lot of questions, Eric, when I was first getting started, and you know, hopefully I'll get started recording back to that. As soon as this staying sickness is just gone, I just can't. You've heard me coughing. I can't talk very long. So
Oh, good.
but once this is out of the system, I'll start recording again so I can get some good content. So for those listeners out there, I will get going again. Just I gotta get better. But I'm glad I was a part of this. This was fun.
No problem, man. Take your time. I know this probably took a lot out of you to do. Like I said at the top, we appreciate you. Appreciate y'all for watching, listening. Be on the lookout. 2022. I'm going to flood the feed, especially on YouTube. I'm going to flood it. My goal is to do one video a day. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but that's my goal. I don't care if it's 3 minutes. It's a video, damn it.
Hey, it is. That's a video.
One a day. My goal, 2022. I need 1,000 subscribers. However I need to do that, we're gonna make it happen. 1,000. So, wishing nothing but the best. Everyone out there in 2022, stay healthy. Do what you need to do to get healthy. We appreciate you all, and take care. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.